Hey, bye, Tom's here, and oh, did I have a good blade break today? This is why you have to be careful on the exhaust side. Yeah, no bueno. So when she blew, she blew. Uh, yeah, this is a good one. Yep, she blew out the metal bar that was there. Well, it's still there. It's just bent back. But yeah, I heard some sound at the end of this last cut, but I'm like, yeah, I got one more cut left in her, because literally it's like the next cut. I didn't see any blade rise, but it just sounded funny down here. I should have stopped, but I literally had one more cut to do, so I figured she could do it, and she couldn't. Luckily, I only went about I don't know, 3 inches or so into that, so that should be pretty easy to pull out. But you always got to be careful, you know, when operating a sawmill, and you never want anyone standing on the exhaust side, because if I didn't have that metal piece there, I mean, literally, that could have shot out further, and if someone was there, even though the blade is getting a little bit dull, that would have been a really bad day. So, yeah. I'm not trying to scare anyone away, but just be careful when operating a sawmill. Also, today I did have Mr. Jack come over. Great help from him. I actually had a few issues. This bearing right here had actually kind of seized up on me, and what I did is, I wasn't paying attention. I guess it was cold one morning. I put my grease in there. Long story short, I pressed out the seal on the backside. So what we had to do is we actually had to take this nut off right here and pull this whole bearing cartridge out. And really all I had to do is just kind of pop it back in there. I don't know how, but it somehow pushed the seal out the backside, but we got that all taken care of. But in doing so, I first tried to take this off with a wrench, and I goobered up my alignment so bad. This right here was pointing up about a half a bubble, so we had to make some adjustments. Unfortunately, I didn't record it, but you loosen up a few things. Let me go around the back side. Oh, the sawdust everywhere. It's awesome. So here we go. All right, so this is your adjustment right here. All we did on the bottom side right here, there's actually an Allen almost set screw, if you will, but we backed out this one, and then loosen them up a little bit, and then set this by pushing this Allen up. It made that wheel push down, which then allowed my blade to be running level. So that was very important. And we actually checked the level on the blade by putting a torpedo level. In my case, I had a 1.5 foot level across it. You check it both in the plane you're cutting as well as left to right. So something to look out for. And once we adjusted this one, then we had to go over to the other side and adjust that one as well. So there's a few things you have to keep in mind when you're running a sawmill. You want to make sure you're keeping that everything good and true, as well as had to verify that my log deck was true. Now my log deck gets out of true sometimes because my kids absolutely think that these are toys, and when I'm not home, they'll they'll adjust them on me sometimes. So I have to check it. I try to check it about once a month. That's my goal, but I don't take my mill out, so it's really not that big of a deal. It shouldn't move around a whole lot. It should have already settled where it's going to be, but it's good to check those every so often. Check some alignment stuff. Quick little video. I just want to say a little bit of warning about blades or anything. I'm going to get this changed out, get this last cut made, and I'm going to call it done for today, because I'm just tired. I ran the sawmill again for only about 4 hours today. My buddy Jack always laughs at me that I only run it for 4 hours. He has like around 420-ish hours on his Timber King 2000. I am 1 hour shy of 200 hours. So I run mine more often, but he runs his for a longer period of time when he does run it. That fire right there, that's literally all the offcuts I've been doing today. You can see I've got all sorts of weird cutoffs and stuff down here below. I've just been trying to get this job knocked out. helping one of our buddies at church who has a barn he's building, and he has a need for how many of these? 60 of these 1.5 by 6s by 14 foot. I think this right here will get me up to 42. So I'll have 42, so I only have about one more log to cut up of this stuff, as well as I've cut up a lot of 2x12s, 2x10s, and whatever other dimensions. So I've gotten all those logs done today, along with I've knocked out a couple 1x12s for another job I'm working on. So I have been running the mill decently hard today. Probably cut around, I don't know, 2,500-ish board foot. So yeah, it's been good. So stay tuned. More to come on the channel, but just had to put this out there. Oh, one last thing I've got to talk about. If you have a Timber King 2000, a Timber King 1600, 2200, 2500, whatever that may be, there is something that one of my subscribers told me. Mr. Floyd down in Florida there, he has a 2200 as well as a 1220, but he said one thing to check on this log dog right here, and sure enough I checked it too, and I had the same issue. Bear with me while I put the camera down here. All right, so this right here, there's 4 of these nuts that actually hold this hydraulic motor on here. So you got one nut here, you got one up here, you got one here on the bottom side and one on the top side. Odds are, check your top one. It's probably loose. In fact, mine's loose right now. My buddy Jack, when I actually had him check his, he was missing that top one right there. I don't know what it is with the vibration or something, but something causes these right here. Actually, that one right there is just finger tight. So yeah, I need to check all of mine. And Mr. Floyd's, unfortunately on his, 2 of his were missing at the top, and when he tried to put it back in there, the bolts were stripped. So if these do back out completely on you, then you have to take all of this off right here, put this whole motor assembly down on the side and put those back in. It's really a kind of a pain. So again, on your log dog, check the 4 bolts that hold on the hydraulic motor right here. They're going to be kind of hard to get to because this one drive sprocket right here, which is on the chain, is kind of in your way. But yes, in fact, 2 of mine right now are loose. And Jack, when he tested his, 2 of his were loose and 1 was missing. And Mr. Floyd's the one who showed me that. So thank you for that bit of knowledge. It's always great to have someone else that has the same sawmill or similar type sawmill to you. And if they have a lot of hours on it, they can talk about what has happened over time with theirs. So stay tuned. More little tidbits of knowledge like that coming up. We'll see you.